Oh shit. They move still. They look like little Ayy Lmaos. Little tiny aliens. A frighteningly thin creature, courtesy of Kane Corporation. It's moving, but seems to be unaware of its surroundings, or it could simply have accepted its fate. Both bodies barely show signs of life. It is tiny, clinging onto life by only the finest thread. It is not a pleasant sight to watch something so small on a fine line between life and death. This body has wasted away to little more than sinew. Oh Jesus. This one is healthy. The creature strains at its bindings. It seems healthy, though judging by the fury in its eyes, it's far from pleased. And this one, it has fallen from the operating table only to crawl around in aimless peregrination? No doubt delirious. Oh, can I help it, please? It's kinda sad.
This shit is straight out of the eugenics war. I taught this in my history class.
You're a teacher?
All of this research will be lost. Does that mean that this was for nothing?
For nothing.
Oh, you're a little bitch, right? The way you said this. Fluid drainage. This room design is wisely included 2 fluid drains. Oh, wow. Wait a second, we still haven't dealt with the power cells. What's the deal? Dr. Charlotte M. Williams. She's the crazy nympho one, right? Oh, Francis, I still lie awake at night thinking of you. You haunt my dreams, my nightmares, and my fantasies. We found love, dear, even when we worked in Kane's Sydney lab, creating viral strains that could turn a human inside out. We laughed and made love. Ours was a match made in heaven. We worked on only the most exciting viruses and pathogens. Our work together was a Mozart requiem, a piece of perfection. My work now is a pale imitation of what it was once. Oh, Francis, how long ago was it now? I don't know how they expect you to read something with a room this fucking loud. I mean, you could probably easily tone down the background noise as soon as you open a PDA. That would be nice, the Brotherhood. Fucking developers of this game. I really look forward to playing the other games, but if it is like this, I at least won't record it. How long ago was it now? It must be 10 years, but it feels like only yesterday. You were too sick to transfer to the Groom Lake when I did. You died just as I took up my post. But don't fret, my angel. I've begun concocting a way of bringing you back to life. What? I always called you my little Frankenstein. Do you remember? Shredding the boundary between life and death was always your ultimate goal. Well, now with Project Seed entering its second phase, my plans can finally be put into practice. I thought Project Seed was about creating super soldiers. Or am I mixing something up? The laboratories are off limits between 2 AM and 4 AM, so that's when I work. Naturally, I prepare all of the calculations and machine settings in my quarters. I keep the subject under a false name in one of the ports. So far, not even Dr. Milan knows what I'm doing. He knows. Each major laboratory operation I perform takes no more than an hour, and I always erase the machine records at the end of each one. I'm using your DNA, my darling. With the enhanced regenerative abilities of the genetic material we've already synthesized for Seed, you will be reborn. But you'll be impervious to physical degeneration, immune to sickness and pain. I'll have done what you've wanted and made you perfect. And when you step healthy, unblemished and reconstituted from your glass womb, you'll never leave me again. But he won't have his memories. He won't have his soul. It will just look like him. I don't get how most of these TV shows, games, books and stuff forget this simple thing or try to overlook it or make the villain overlook it. Because yeah, DNA is important. DNA is what makes us what we are right now, I guess. But what also makes us what we are right now are our fucking memories and what we experienced in life. Fucking I'm sorry, I'm so skeptical and angry today. Things have felt strange lately, my work continues, but I swear, dear Francis, I can feel you watching me. I'm trying to work longer hours to complete the new and reborn you, but it's not easy. Marvin has already had a look at some of my work, I'm sure, as if he'd have any concept of what I'm trying to achieve anyway. I still wonder, my darling, why you cursed me as you died. You know it wasn't an accident? No, it was an accident, sorry. I know you remember that. It wasn't murder. I've never committed a murder, not even when we tested a pathogen on those troublesome neighbors. It was an experiment. How were we to know they choked to death on their own innards? I suppose death was a possibility, but that's science. I fear for your continued life. I'm afraid Milan knows. Who else knows? Have they contaminated you? I will run extra tests to make sure your code is not flawed or altered in any way. I'm anxious. I've started scratching my arms badly. Jesus. At this rate, I may end up looking like that leprous toad Bagman. It's the old guy, right? The psychopath. Why is this laboratory full of psychopaths? I don't get it. Oh, my dearest Francis, I failed you. Milan knows. He confronted me about it directly. He wants me to make you just like them. I cannot have you crawling on all fours like some dog in the street. The very idea offends me. I will protect you with my life. You will be reborn as what is in my life. Crazy that people just let the PDAs out in the open when it's this secret of information in there, you know, and it's not even password locked or something. There's another terminal over here. Oh, subject Lana. Tara McCormick, First Lieutenant, Marine Liaison, Subject Observation. Subject appears to have inherited her mother's powerful physical build and latent aggression. Lana has the makings of an excellent alpha female candidate. Move Lana to a group cell as isolation appears to promote irritability. Daryl. Something. Quiet but intelligent, attempted to pick the lock on his sire yesterday but failed to escape. Excellent puzzle-solving skills, and while not specially aggressive, has a strong build. A thinker clearly, so quite unlike me. Frederick. Subject shows little of his mother's solid frame, but is a superb hunter. Stalks and learns tactics by observing the others, appears to be developing a strong tactical mind. Oh. Wait, is this another Lana? No, it's Nay. Why does it say subject Lana up there? Did it? Oh, it says the same for everyone. Alright, John had a little stroke there when he read the subject's host. Subject Nay, host Alan Marachek, space tourist. Okay. One to watch. Cunning, extraordinarily fast and dangerous. Appears to prefer isolation as attempted pairings resulted in fatalities. Takes an alpha role easily, dominates the other Novi. A definite candidate for Lana's mate. So it's a guy. No comment about this, John? You just read your your wife's name. She's dead, dude. She may be one of the pregnant women you saw earlier. You just didn't recognize her. No? Just me?
They're almost human. Especially their eyes.
Being angry about this?
Don't get too close.
Why not? How would you know? What could happen? I love how he just stands there looking at them. Really fucking close as well. I mean, they can't just break out, right? Oh, there's a bone mending glue. A tube of quick-drying bone adhesive. Does this exist in real life? Bone adhesive? That's crazy. Bone mending glue.
That's just crazy. Although...
No? Okay.
Crazy.
What do I want to mend? Okay, I can leave this room down there. Alright. As soon as I have taken a look at all of them. It appears immobile, but its heads frequently scan the room. Jesus. The constant beeping isn't helping as well, game, just so you know. Hello? That's a long loading screen for just a transition. What the fuck is this? Oh, it's just a hologram or something. The creature squirms in its medical restraints. Great black eyes and a sunken grey face glare with malice. Let me guess who this is. I guess this is Nay, and I have to operate on him or something. Just a little prediction time. That's why I get the bone mending glue. But I don't have any knives or something, so...
Don't go any further. I'm warning you now.
How could you do this?
I do with my children as I see fit.
It's barbaric.
Spare me the pity of the righteous. Your daughter owes her life to me.
What?
What do you know about Rebecca?
ARG was good on this ship, Mr. Marichek. Cancer, HIV, Ebola. I eliminated them all.
That's not bad.
Her life is mine to do it as I choose. Oh yes, I know about everything, Johnny boy. I know about your daughter and all about your wife. You are accountable.
Jan his signal, John. You need to hurry.
Ooh.
We're close.
How convenient again. You didn't want me to hear what he has to say. Okay, a few things about this conversation just now. Why the fuck would this important doctor know about the fucking space traveler that just by chance got on this ship and just by chance woke up from his stasis? We didn't hear anything else about our daughter's sickness before, did we? ARG. I've read about this other doctor whose kid had ARG, the Christian one, you know? What's the deal with Melan anyway? And fucking Tia, she can fuck right off. Alright, it's Dr. Melan's PDA. The man himself. January 1st. The new year begins, the wheel turns and the Groom Lake continues to lead the vanguard of scientific discovery for all of humankind. Yet I feel dissatisfied, even as the peons who work under me celebrate the new year. I wonder, why? Why would you celebrate such an asinine concept as an outdated Gregorian calendar on a ship that's currently swimming through the depths of space? The reason is clear, comfort. They fear the unknown, the alien, the impossible. I do not. I embrace the unforgiving cosmos with open arms. The problem with the research we do is the humans doing it, constrained as they are by conscience, remorse, and sometimes even fear. We try to grasp the infinite and give it a framework that ill fits its cosmic splendor. That's the thing I never thought about. As soon as you leave Earth, you actually leave all of Earth's time zones, right? So a day isn't just a day anymore. How would you describe what time it is when you're outside of Earth? Which time zone do you go by? And if you leave I don't know, if you leave the Milky Way or something, would you even go as far as using Earth time at all? Or would you try to measure time in a whole different and new manner? It's kind of weird. This is my 10th year as a special projects director for Kane Corporation. Despite my discoveries and quests for knowledge, there's someone higher than him, I guess. I'm held back at every turn by paperwork, moralizing scientists, and that group of degenerate toadies that I sit on the board with. If I were rid of them, then my word would be God, my word, not the word of a corporation. Still, they have their uses. The research is funded by Kane, and the Groom Lake is kept running by the money and personnel they provide, but the time will come when all this changes, you mark my words. Alright, did he plan all of this? I'm inundated with emails from all departments about inconsistencies with storage and contaminated samples. This grand masquerade is sometimes more tedious than it's actually worth. Worst of all was Dr. Wei. I remember that, and that technician, Miss Callister, is it? I remember that as well. I knew it all happened, or rather it all started with the storage thing. So I guess this is like a rundown of the story on his point of view. I'd normally make short work of such troublemakers, but it hardly seems worthwhile. Troublemakers must be allowed to make trouble, because if they disappear, that legitimizes their claims and somebody will always take up the fallen crusader's torch. Yeah, sometimes you want to have an enemy that you can control rather than one you can't control, rather than a new one. Dr. Bagman's tendencies are becoming harder to restrain. I'm well aware of his shortcomings. The old man is as brilliant as he is deranged, yet manages to go about his work with a sociopathic glee. He's useful to have around. He has requested more bodies for seats, specifically more women who were recently pregnant. That is problematic, as we have very few such women on board, and imports are not easy to come by. We may have to play this one under the radar. That fool, Dr. Gray, complained yet again about his beloved insects becoming more aggressive as a result of the power outages. So what? Let them spill out onto the decks as far as I'm concerned. The importance of seed outranks the hydroponics project work by 1,000 to 1. I do like playing chess with Dr. Gray, of course. I win every time, a little fact he's unlikely to tell anyone, although he does seem quite happy to contact anyone who's interested with the opinion that he'd be the next best candidate for my job. Why would you keep playing chess if you lose? Then again, I keep playing Blood Bowl even though I lose most of the time. Sebastian, you would not, could not handle what I do. If you believe otherwise, then you are as great a fool as I imagine you to be. When the day that I foresee comes, your rotting corpse will be under my feet and I will laugh. Dr. Williams is still under the delusion that I don't know about her personal research. This is the nympho chick. Officially, it's illegal for staff to conduct their own research, but this is interesting. Recreating her dead lover in the form of a hybrid? How fascinating. If it works, I'll make use of it. If it doesn't, then it'll burn with the rest of the rejects. The woman is obsessed, and I know that DeSantos is playing no small part in feeding her delusions. I know her secret research won't cause me any problems, or I would never have allowed her on Project Seed. DeSantos, the drug dealer guy? So it seems contaminated waste from the corpse disposal overspill is contaminating the ship. Oh shit, it was him all along, it wasn't hydroponics at all. It's causing fungal growth, or so my various drones tell me. The fungus is a riveting proposition though. While I'm angry at Dr. Bagman for terminating more subjects than strictly necessary, these unintended side effects are fascinating. I intimidated as much to Dr. Gray and of course stroked his ego with hints at promotion and glory. He'll keep the fungus alive. Oh, for fuck's sake. The engineers want it destroyed, but I'm sure we can delay that. This experiment is becoming more engaging by the day and I haven't even had to lift a finger. So while they clog up my inbox with demands and Rome burns, I plan to play the violin. We're more than secure here anyway, and this has a certain inevitability about it. I must record the daily developments as the experiment grows. Jeez, it is as I foresaw, panic, destruction and mayhem, and yet Seed continues apace. Once the fervor and the flame dies down, we'll sweep the decks of detritus and repurpose all of it for my beautiful hybrid creations. No more growing plants for the good of mankind. God is no longer in the machine, my friends. I am God. Your beautiful... wait a second. November to December, okay, so it's about one every month. My beautiful children have excelled themselves. They kill, they learn, they adapt. A primal species without any of the trappings of morality. It's their time now. They almost came to be once, many years ago, but were snuffed out by humanity, afraid of its natural successors. This systematic extermination was given a name, the Eugenics Wars. The public knew it as a corporate warfare. In truth, it was a coordinated genocide. Humanity wasn't ready for Professor Garant's astounding discovery and sought to destroy it. His work was not perfect, of course. That's why I came in. Okay. I spent most of my life as part of Kane trying to access Professor Garant's original work. Old man Kane pushed me to the top because we shared an ideal, the utilization of science for the perfection of humanity. Where we differed were the methods by which this was to be achieved. Not that he had much more to say after he held that pillow to his face as he lay in his hospital bed, all for a higher purpose. But he's not the chief bozo of Kane, is he? He's just on the board of directors. Not directors? Directors. Sorry. Creation of our species from raw subjects will become impossible now that the crew are dead, dying or unclean, but that's hardly an issue. Any subjects who are flawed or imperfect have been turned into the fertilizer that will nurture the perfection of the surviving race. Now the challenge is moving the Groom Lake out of range of any other ships. No one can be allowed to escape this ship alive. Any good, strong survivors will become members of the new race. I am their creator, I control, I transcend. Short question there. What do you intend to do once everyone else is dead and you're alone with these things? Do you just fly your ship back to the next planet and let them out? Because you can't sustain on this ship alone forever. February 2nd. DeSantos, I'm so very disappointed in you. A distress signal? I thought we were one of mind here in Seed. I'll castrate and destroy you for this betrayal. Your flawed body is hardly worthy of becoming one of my children, but for now I must turn off this accursed signal. You cannot hide from me, Marvin, you drug-peddling little fuck. What a nice last entry. Oh look, there's another PDA here. I wonder whose it is. Is it Melan again, or is it maybe Tia? That would be kind of a twist, finding it here. Robert Lincoln. Never heard of this guy. I've been reassigned to investigate the disappearance and murder of 2 scientists in the employ of Dr. Melan. Alright, so he's like a officer type of guy. A strange matter to be sure, I've been observing the movements of some of these eggheads and I can't say I'm too impressed. Doesn't anybody around here record their comings or goings? Or make any notes? They all write in their PDAs though, and everything they write in there is really important. There's no traditional organization in this department whatsoever. Project Z answers to nobody, this I know, but I thought these scientific types always made notes. Not that I care about admin, but I very much care about finding out who's selling weapon-grade secrets. Industrial secrets are a matter of life and death, especially death in this case. My investigation will be thorough and no stone will be left unturned. The staff here are strange, and in fact, I'd say lots of them are even crazy, but I couldn't care less about them. I just want names and answers. I like this guy. I got this job because I get things done, not because of my warm and caring personality. At the moment, people are taking umbrage to my investigation, but security is a constant and essential part of shipboard life, especially when we're talking about industrial espionage. I'm not sure where the two missing scientists are, but it seems based on the modified records I found that they were killed and ejected into space. Any other man would assume that these two were the criminals, but I don't buy that. What? These two? Which two? As far as suspects go, I've ruled out Charlotte Williams and Marvin DeSantos. Charlotte because she doesn't know where she is half of the time. Holy shit, she's crazy. And DeSantos because he's just a smirking shit for brains. I'm confident that he's involved in drug dealing and I will give him this. He's cautious and acts like he's a real ladies' man. But I know the truth. I've seen him rejected repeatedly at the bar. Oh, okay. Since July, I've had to operate under the pretense that I'm an assistant. It's lucky that in my career I had some emergency room experience. The only other person who knows about my true purpose here is Dr. Malan. Oh, you don't think that the fucking crazy guy that is pushing all of this fucking research is the culprit after all? And telling him who you are is a bad thing? You're retarded, Robert. Yes, Robert. You're really retarded. He's been encouraging. He constantly supplies me with information that I require for my investigation. You mean he feeds you with wrong and fake news, and at times is a little overhelpful. Still, he seems honest enough. For the record, I'm well aware of the kind of man Dr. Malan is. Are you? I've seen his experiments with my own eyes. I've seen what happens when the bodies are disposed of and the burning fires of the furnaces. But he does what's required to justify the means. There are few men in this world who will do what has to be done. For that, I admire him. You're batshit crazy as well. He told me to watch over Dr. Williams' experiments. It seems they're unofficial, and although I prepared a report to Kane to have her removed from her position, Dr. Malan immediately overrode my request. I respect him, but to be honest, I don't like having my authority overruled. Don't you? Beckman, of all people, was sniffing around today. It seems the old psychopath suddenly became curious. I asked Dr. Malan for further instructions, and he told me to incapacitate the old man. This I did. Oh, this is what's struck him over the head. Oh, no, the knees, right? Yes, he woke up with 2 broken knees. A shame I had to break the old guy's kneecaps. Honestly, I was hoping to slit his throat. Fuck me. How can you justify a murder with justice? But Dr. Malan insisted that he remain alive and in pain but unable to move. Jesus Christ. I'm revising my earlier opinion of that DeSantis character. I still think he's a pathetic little shit, but I now believe he was partly responsible for some of the stolen information. He strikes me as an amateur put up to this by an outside agent. I'll deal with DeSantis soon, but first I've got to monitor his movements. Make one move, pal, and I'll have you. Oh yeah, DeSantis was selling stuff. I remember. Dr. Malan has earmarked me for one of his experiments. I know this because when I attempted to leave the ship to report to Kane Corp, I discovered that my access was restricted and blocked. I came back to my quarters and found Malan waiting here. He was waiting with 2 of those hellish critters that he's created. I'm not squeamish, but those things make me nauseous. I'm currently awaiting what he calls processing. I suppose at this stage I should make peace with God. I've killed many men in my life, and I'll never say that I feel remorse for it. And I won't give Dr. Malan the satisfaction of hearing me pray for mercy. Oh, I expected as much. This thing back there, it's him. My last notes on this affair are that Dr. Malan himself is at the heart of the events aboard the ship. I was blind to it. No, you were a retard. You weren't blind, you were retarded. I refuse to believe that he was capable of creating such devastation. Yeah, you only saw him create these fucking things. What? I always thought that scientists lack control, but Malan breaks all the rules as far as science is concerned. He is mad! Get this in your fucking head. He's crazy! Everyone here is crazy! Everyone you saw in this fucking ship, everyone you saw in this laboratory, everyone on Project Seed. There's the fucking crazy nympho, the fucking old psychopath, the drug dealing fucking little shit as you call him, Dr. Balan, who is like the epitome and god of craziness. Who else is there? The dude in hydroponics with his fucking insects. There's Tia, who's probably a crazy manipulative bitch. There's me, who's crazy to go through this, and then there's me, IRL, who's crazy to play this game. Where was I? The leaked information, the Fungal Grove, the missing scientists, I'm beginning to suspect he even knew that Dos Santos was actually selling intelligence, and may have fed him the information to sell. To what end, I don't know. I suspect it was because Dos Santos kept Bagman drugged to the eyeballs with whatever powerful stimulants he happened to have, so Bagman could continue his work. I can hear the machines being turned on. I welcome my fate. At least I know that I did my job for Kane Corporation. You're deranged.